It's been a long time since we did this.
First day of pads being able to hit. How do you think your defense played today?
I think the effort was good. The execution was not what you like. Typical first day of practice. Typical first day of pads. Guys standing up straight, not good pad level, too much movement at the point of attack. But the effort was good, and I think the overall understanding was good.
How do you get a sense of an identity of this defense yet? The mood of this defense?
I think this defense is still kind of forming its identity. I think they're going to build on, fast and hard and those concepts. But I think we'll have to wait and see how it evolves.
Obviously, some key seniors and key players leaving, specifically on the D line with Eric Armstead leaving. Who do you see stepping up there besides, like Balducci and players like that?
I think, Armstead was a real force that we lost. I think Tui has stepped up. I think Austin has done a tremendous job, and TJ Daniel. All three of those guys, through 3 practices, have done a real nice job. If they continue to progress, I think we'll have a solid, 6-7 rotation.
Yeah, Canton Kamatule was one of those guys that came in kind of a carbon copy of Eric Armstead. There was a lot of hype around him. How do you see him folding into this program so far?
The nice thing about Canton is he's big, he's strong, and he wants to learn. We'll have to evaluate at the end of spring how well he transitions, because we're asking him to do some things he didn't have to do in high school. But potentially he has the potential to be really, really good.
Those guys all getting some more representative. DeForest said he's not able to do much right now. You getting kind of a look at more guys out there with really only Balducci as the returning starter on the line in the spring?
Yeah, the nice thing about spring football is that you just rotate guys, and so everyone gets a ton of reps, and that's good for everyone. It's good for coaches because we get a chance to evaluate guys, and what's really nice is that when you just rotate everybody, during the season the ones go with the ones, the twos with the twos, the threes with the threes. So if you have a guy that doesn't know what he's doing or not as experienced, with the 3 group, no one else really is experienced. It's hard to see what they can do. Now you take that guy that's been going with the 3s, put him with the 1s, everyone knows what they're doing. All he has to do is focus on his job. You get a chance to really see what he can do because he can relax and cut it loose. So the nice thing about spring is the opportunity to just roll guys and see what they can do in different combinations.
DeForest playing kind of helping leadership-wise and kind of teaching some guys. I know he said he can't be out there. Was he able to kind of get some guys some tips and with the younger guys?
Yeah, Coach Helfrich's rule is that if you're not going full, you're a coach.
Yeah.
And so everyone on that field, if they're not, going balls to the wall, they are coaching.
We saw Henry Mundy put on a lot of weight this offseason. Is that kind of maybe just a concentrated effort for him to get bigger just for his overall progress, or is that maybe a sign he may be moving inside a little bit?
I think every kid, tries to get bigger, stronger. Some guys they put on more weight and strength than others. I think in Henry's case, Henry's trying to be the best that he could be, and his extra weight so far has been really good for him.
What's Charles brought to the secondary, moving over from offense?
Charles is probably one of the best tacklers on our team, and probably one of the fastest players on our team. And so his impact in the secondary, I think it's going to be dramatic once he learns the concepts. But he's fast, he's tough, and really exciting to watch.
Is he picking it up pretty fast? You said it was a lot like just starting over.
It is like starting over, but I think he's a fast learner. And I think through 3 days he's made some progress.
Coach, after losing 3 starters in the secondary, what are you looking for out of a guy like Chris Cisse?
In the secondary, we lost 3 really good players. I think we have some extremely talented guys. I think as a group, that's a very talented group, and we'll lean on Cisse, we'll lean on Tyree, we'll lean on Reggie because those guys actually played. And when we say lean on, we expect the Cisses, the Daniels, the Robinsons to be leaders. And sometimes, you don't expect sophomores to be leaders, but we do.
How big was it for a guy like Chris to kind of get some solid playing time there late in the season in the Rose Bowl and stuff?
Yeah, we were really proud of Chris last year. He played a little earlier. And down the stretch, he played really, really good, and I'm so really excited about that, and that's why we're going to lean on him to be a leader, because he proved on the field he can do it.
A lot of people talk about losing Marcus, but it seems like Eric Armstead maybe is the biggest guy that this team's going to lose after last season. Talk about how you feel that whole defense.
You know, the nice thing for us on defense is we're forced to rotate a lot of guys. And so when we lose an impact player, it's Armstead, it was Kiko, it's, you know, Dion, you lose those guys. There's always some other guys that have playing experience, and a lot of times it's just their opportunity to stand up, you know. And so they've been overshadowed by some guys. We don't know how good they are. All of a sudden it's their turn, and then we start to see it. So we're excited to see who's gonna kind of separate themselves in this next group of young men.
Only been a couple practices, but has there been a guy that's kind of like jumped out at you this season, this spring?
No, through 3 practices, there's been a lot of flashes from a lot of different guys, but nothing that we can really grab and go, yes, not yet.
Besides shaking off the cobwebs and, you know, kind of going back to fundamentals, is there anything else that you guys focus on during spring ball, specifically defensively?
You know, a lot of it for us is experimenting, not experimenting. A lot of it for us is trying some new concepts. And so, you know, the first week defensively was get back to basics. Next week we'll add a couple different packages and see how they look. The following week we'll add a couple more, and then at the end we'll kind of figure out which ones we really like, and then the last week that's what we'll focus on.
Ugo Amadi's name's kind of come up as a guy that's maybe impressed people. What have you seen out of him in the 3 practices?
I think he's been impressive. He's extremely fast. He's incredibly athletic, and he's really smart. And so he's been a pleasure. You know, it's still early, but it's been surprising.
What do you think Christian French can do in a full year and then as a full-time starter? Devastation can break upon the pack.
Really excited to see Christian this year. You know, it took him a year and a half or so to make the transition. You know, he's a tight end. Last year we started at times. He played really good at times. It wasn't as productive. And now he's got a chance to be the guy. So I know that ability-wise he's really gifted. And last year he showed some really good signs. So we're excited to see. I mean, it would be awesome if it'd be awesome to see him really turn that corner. Awesome.